safe and removed. You never get hung up. Never.
I'm still trying to decide what to read, so I will take my time and thank Jesse and James for hosting this amazing book festival, along with my great colleagues Bonnie and Stacy and Andrew. It's been awesome trying to put this together in just a few short months, and the attendance has been amazing. So thank you everybody for coming, and thank you Todd and Caitlin, who came all the way from Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I taught with them a few years ago. Not that many. And I want to thank my fellow readers tonight, Emma and Chelsea for reading, and Alberto and Shanto for coming and being here tonight. All right, so what should I read? Okay, there's two choices. I'll let you guys decide. First of all, I want to do performance poetry and just thank everyone for a while. I think I'm going to read a short lyric essay as a bridge between the poems of tonight. And then on Sunday, when I read again, I will read my letters to Governor Ducey. But not all 60 of them. I will not torture you that way. But I will torture you a little on Sunday. But tonight, I will just read an essay inspired, I think, to go this direction, thanks to Emma's poem about eggs. Now, are you guys getting weird feedback, or is that just me? Is it like kind of wispy? Okay, that's my fault because I probably over-adjusted. Okay, is that better? A little bit better? Okay. Okay, this essay is from a new project called Eggs. It's just called Eggs. It's about eggs. And this essay is called Why Break the Things We Love the Most? Namely, eggs. Eggs, like their fragility, little planets full of life go out of their way to show their cracks, their fault lines. Examining their flaws reveals their tensile strength. What does not kill me, etc., etc. Calcium swarms to heal the fissure, prevent fracture. Hold an egg up to your eye. Imperfections swirl gray rivers. Scratch your finger across it. It's as perfect as it ever was. As beautiful as a planet, heaving with life, stronger than it looks, still likely to break. So many kinds of eggs. Ostrich, robin, dinosaur, hummingbird, turkey, chicken, salmon, platypus, rattlesnake, and flycatcher. Northern flicker and rabbit. Even mammals have eggs, though on the inside, ovaries tossing out eggs like cigarette butts out a car window. The mammal's interior planets round the stomach rather than the nest. Perhaps the mammal's eggs seem less fragile, protected as they are through muscle and fat. This makes them nonetheless precious. They break too, these internal eggs. I am not so attached to my eggs. Or should I say, they are not so attached to me. I drop one every month and let it go 10 days later. The results are runny as yolk, full of proteins and lost possibilities, but not one of those possibilities is a frittata. I've made frittatas with sausage and broccoli, with mushrooms and cheese, omelets with asparagus and omelets, with Denver, scrambled eggs with American cheese cooked on low to keep the proteins from seizing up. Eggs and cookies, and eggs and cake. A dozen eggs separated, whites whipped into a fury, folded back into their yolks, risen in a souffle. But I like whole eggs best, hard-boiled. I poach eggs in chicken broth, which seems both a deep bow and a deep fuck you to the hen. My favorite recipe is that one that my friend Rebecca brought all the way with her from Los Angeles to meet me to camp on the Mogollon Rib above Sycamore Canyon. Although not part of the Grand Canyon, the Sycamore Canyon's elemental construction comes from the same idea. Colorado Plateau, Navajo sandstone, limestone, Kaibab rock. We hadn't spoken in 5 years. And then we did. And then we ate ham cream. What I recall from the recipe is this. Saute onion in a pan, add cream, add ham, reduce, add spinach, pour into ramekins, crack an egg, bake for 12 to 15 minutes. We had no oven in which to bake our ham cream on the Mogollon Rim. I rolled my eyes that Rebecca had brought such a complicated recipe to cook on a camping stove. Part of the reason we didn't speak for 5 years. She has a tendency to complicate everything. So do I. 2 complications make a mess of a nest. Still, we were talking now and moving forward with the ham cream. We sauteed the onions in a saute pan over the rattling burner of the Coleman stove. We added the cream and ham, turned off the burner, let the ham steep. Lighting the stove again required matches and the delicate balancing of 2 hot pans in one of our hands. I held the pan, she lit the burner. Division of labor we had always been good at. We both burned our hands. Her burned, sharp and biting, mine broad and deepening. I could have made a metaphor out of it. But metaphors lead to fighting. I wanted us to be happy. We had so many eggs to go. We cracked 8 eggs, added them to the pan. This is the important part. 1 egg per person. Who was here? How had Rebecca and I, friends since 8th grade, arguing about which came first, man or woman, art or science, whose boyfriend was the lamest, how to make art and money, how to stay friends across 10 western states, how had we managed to bring anyone else camping with us? Our husbands and our kids, patient as we stirred the onions. We cracked the eggs, opened them into the hot pan, put a lid on it, scraped the ham and spinach eggs, still whole, onto our plates. How do you want your eggs? Perfect. There are reasons to repair a broken friendship. One of them is eggs poached in cream. Why do you want kids? My one-time student, now friend, Lydia, asked during the gap of time that Rebecca and I weren't speaking. I needed someone else to ask the obvious questions. Not that the question was obvious. Rebecca never asked obvious questions, nor did Lydia, but the answer seemed obvious. Lydia didn't want kids. I had always wanted kids. How do you describe a want? About as easily as you fill it. Desire isn't easy. It's a vacuum, a black hole, an empty egg through which someone has poked a hole and let drip out the mucousy dreams. Culturally conditioned to want kids? Sure. Biologically determined to have kids? Maybe. Romantically deluded about the joys of having kids? Absolutely. On nights that I couldn't sleep, I lay in my bed and dreamt about a tiny fetal head tucking its head under my ribs. I could imagine the baby turning more slowly than a planet, more life-filled than a rainforest. Perhaps it was years of having sex, having near misses and not having babies that accumulated in these empty spaces like rabbits of desire. Ghost rabbits. Practically, I weighed the problem of having kids. That they might give way in the plans of making a living, making art, the carbon their baby feet would print, the fear of them dying, the fear of the world killing them, the loss of free time and sanity and sleep even when they became teenagers. Especially when they became teenagers and I would have to wait late into the night for them to crawl back through the window through which they had escaped. Wanting to not sleep sounded like a bad wish. Wanting to not die seemed melodramatic. Although immortality seems more guaranteed through babies than through art. Why did I want kids? Some things are best understood when contemplating their opposite. Not having kids felt like the end of the world. I should have a scene here. An image of me in the bathroom. Look at the one lonely line on the pregnancy test. I should have an image of me in stirrups, the doctors shaking their heads gently. I should have a scene with a test tube or maybe one of me going to the baby gap and a pair of booties while saying to the wind gods, please fill these with something beside yourself, wind. But those images are pervasive. You've seen them before in play-by-play blogs where every blip on the fertility thermometer is recorded. When the basal body temperature falls, the comment section sighs collectively. There is love to be found in some comment sections. Isn't that enough? Why should you want a child? Oh, interrogative question mark. Why are you shaped like a hook? You keep leaving me hope I can catch this desire. Conveying empty is like trying to convey a promise. I will be here for you. Who will believe you? Where will you be? I thought we were going camping. Why should you have any faith? Personally, for faith, I look for signs. Signs that help me believe. Signs that convey distantly, like, I saw a hawk this morning, which means I will get some good news about my book later this afternoon. Rebecca saw a falcon, and her gallery called her right away. We optimists take birds as signs to the human endeavor because, at the end of the world, only the birds can hold out until the scorched earth settles down. I feel bad hanging all this hope around the neck of birds, both the fulfillment of pedestrian, even petty wishes, and the hope of the bird's eternal survival. I forgive myself my weightiness in advance. They know I'm only joking. Ask the passenger pigeon. Ask the passenger pigeon's unfertilized egg. In the time between morning and afternoon, all possibility is wide and open, waiting like a door for good news to walk in. I do not like the kind of signs that convey immediately. The sign of a menstrual period is unmistakable. You try to ignore the tug on your ovary, the twist of muscle under your belly button. Your belly button makes you think of your mother. The thought of her reminds you that infertility cannot be hereditary. Your mother, though, was 25 when she got pregnant with you, and you were 31. You were on your way to your friend Rebecca's for a breakfast she's hosting on Christmas Eve. This is the past, so you're still speaking to her, but you're not happy that she is making egg stuff.